Hi, everybody. This is John Diaz, business broker. I'm going to be going over what you should do to prepare your business for sale. I hope you find this information useful. I'm going to start off a little bit of background of myself. I am a business broker, part of the Business Brokers of Florida, part of the International Business Broker Association, part of the Regional Commercial Alliance of Commercial Realtors. I was an assistant vice president of American Homes and managed 300, 400 foreclosures for them. I ran a billion-dollar location for Ford Motor Credit Company in Fort Lauderdale and Puerto Rico. I was a regional marketing manager and a regional operations manager. I've also bought and sold various of my own companies. So that's a little bit of background on myself. And then, one of the first things when I meet with sellers or that I'd ask is, what are you going to do after the sale? There's been situations where, we got the business sold for top dollar, and at the very end, the seller didn't want to sell at the last minute because he really didn't identify what he was going to do with his life afterwards. So right now, if you're a business owner, maybe you're working, there's some stress and less family time. And then after a sale, it's kind of reverted the other way. Less stress, no work, and a ton of family time. So the question is, what's your life going to look like after? Are you going to be traveling? Are you going to find a place on the beach? Are you going to be a grandparent? Are you going to be spending it with family? So I would advise you start living that life now a little bit more than you have, even in the process of selling. Selling a business is something complex and it involves a lot of people. One of the first things I tell you is you should meet with the business broker. And one of the biggest values, the first thing you get, especially if you meet with me, is that I'm going to help you determine what the value of your business is. We're going to look at it to see how it's sold, how it compares to other ones in your industry that have sold, and give you a ballpark, a range, excuse me, of what it would, sell for. One of the other benefits besides the value is that we can help you increase the valuation. We have the experience. It's supply and demand. I see some business people that have a full-time job selling their business, and then they want to, running their business, and they want to sell their business. Well, that's another job, first of all. And secondly, how many buyers can you reach versus a business broker? Our network is selling 95% of the business that are out there. It's supply and demand. We have access to the local entrepreneurs, national entrepreneurs, international buyers, strategic buyers, mergers and acquisition buyers. So there's just a lot more exposure that we can get. We're going to handle the confidentiality for you and have experience in negotiating business closings. We're going to communicate your value proposition and summarize it to the buyers that come along. Again, it's saving you time and resources. We'll handle the diligence period once we get a contract and get you to closing, and also coordinate, the post-closing, the transition between you and the buyer. One of the next steps of business broker that you should be doing is accountant. Should you do an asset sale or a stock sale? There are some other things you could do. What are your tax implications? Should you accept earnouts or seller financing? Consider 1031. Those are all things you can go over with your accountant, your CPA. And secondly, your financial planner. A lot of people do a 1031 and not just necessarily put it in income for real estate, but sometimes they put it in rates or those DST funds as well. So that's what you would discuss with your financial planner. The next thing I tell you is we want to meet and get all your financial information. Is we want to get your business SBA approved. That's by the Small Business Administration. And it opens up. There's a lot more buyers that if they can put a down payment and take on the debt, and your business makes enough income for them to make that debt and pay themselves a salary and hopefully a profit. There's a lot more buyers that can do that versus paying 100% cash. So the documents required for that are all the financial statements, 3 years tax returns, profit and loss, cash flows, balance sheets, and so forth. And then we get an approval from the lender stating that your business is approved for whatever, 300, 500, a million, 2 million, whatever it is. Here in the presentation, a couple examples of some businesses. You can see, some stores from 300, some construction businesses up to 5 million. And this is what it looks like when your business is listed. You're not selling a property, you're selling a business. So it's about the income. Because what the three things the buyers are looking for is, what that discretionary earning that they'll be getting, how does that fit in with their lifestyle? Is it desirable? Can they duplicate your results and keep that income? Will it all transfer over to them? And is everything documented? The next thing is average time to sell. For most, businesses, it's 6 to 7 months to get a contract, another 2 months, roughly 3 months to close. So the whole thing should take 6 or 9 months if it's marketed appropriately and your business is priced correctly. For bigger, it could be you start getting up over $1 million, 2 million, 3, 4 million. It's more like 10, 12 months, depending on the size and depending on the industry. The other thing is one of the things that we're going to look at when you work with us as a business broker, myself, is who are the buyers, the buyer for your business. Is it a local entrepreneur? Is it a serial entrepreneur? Is an institutional buyer? Is it someone that wants to, come from internationally and get a visa to buy? Is it a merger and acquisition and a strategic purchase? So we're going to be identifying that. As far as financing trends, most of them are 2 or 3 times multiple of discretionary earnings. EBITDA goes to 3 or 5 times. Those are bigger, but those are just ballparks. It depends on the business that you're in. That most sellers are looking to open to accepting seller financing. There's some benefits of that where the taxes are, taxes are deferred. For the seller financing portion, which you want to talk to your CPA. The buyers have some questions. What they want to sell. We need to be prepared to answer that question. What's the upside of the business? What's the opportunity for them to take it over and improve? How much does it make, and how did we get to the price? They want us to qualify that information. Some of the things that you can do that are very important while you're selling to increase the multiple or the higher valuation when you sell is increase profit. Keep running your business. Don't cut anything. Keep trying to grow profits. Make your margins bigger. The more income you have and it's consistent, documented, you have the list of clients, the better or the higher multiple we can get. Having that strong customer base and many years of it. The next thing here is one we call the buyer sanity test. If someone's buying $1 million business, sometimes they qualify SBA with only 10% down, but that payment at 8, 9%, does the business provide enough income for them to pay themselves a salary and hopefully a profit, and what is the return on that? So that's something we go over with you and also that the buyers are looking at. People do not pay for potential. They want to know what the potential is, but they're going to pay based on what your income is, what you can prove, what's documented, and what they believe can be transferred over to them when they take over. Something I tell you when we're negotiating don't just get fixated on the price, but on, look at the overall deal and does it align with, will the transition to deploy happen smoothly? Another big thing is, you don't want to be all about you. You don't want the businesses that the owner 80 hours a week and it's all about them. And if they take a weekend off, the business goes down. That business has less of a value. The business where an owner can go away for a month, they have managers in place, it works smoothly. That business is going to go for a higher multiple and it's worth more. So that's very important as you're preparing to sell. The next step, keeping very clean books and documenting everything, having higher gross margins is important. Here's just some example of the things we need. They're going to need to create a list of equipment, the value, the age of it, a list. Also concentration is one client, 20% or more. We're going to have to, have that all that information. It's the same as employees, how long they've been there, what their income is. Is there if you're leaving, is there someone that could be promoted to a manager? Is there a manager in place? Will they all transition over after the sale? And then managing the selling process from planning to searching to deal making to closing, to the financing to the due diligence, from the contract to closing. We're here to help you. Some of the things that is unsellable or sell for less value are the opposite of what we talked about before. Keeping back books or not having any books at all. If the business isn't making money, if the owner's everything and it just falls apart without them, that means it's worth less. And in the best case, we have to make adjustments to replace the owner's salary, and we're going to make adjustments to the value and the multiple based on that. Is the business or the owner a mess and it's been run down and winding down the business? And finally, some of the ballparks or the few major things how we look at the value is, one is discretionary earnings. That's the excuse me, almost what it makes, what the business makes, and it would have some adjustments. We can add in the owner salary, depreciation, interest, one-time expenses, and other adjustments of that. EBITDA is earnings before interest, taxes, depreciation, and amortization. EBITDA is used more on some of the bigger deals, and some of the like barber shops, pool routes, beauty salons. Those are valued a little bit more on a percentage of sales of the annual sales. So those are a few of the methodologies we use and evaluating everything and comparing them to all that I've sold. I hope this information, has been beneficial to you, and feel free to give us a call at John Diaz, Keller Williams Business Brokerage at 844-456-4647. Thank you for listening.